All right, Sean, we start off with a daughter of Pomodoro. I've had a good look at the family. They're all obviously bred by the Gary Player stud. The mare hasn't set the world alight, but maybe what she's looking for is Pomodoro.
Yeah, listen, not too much to say. She's going to need the outing, and we're just looking for the experience.
Well, I guess it's every owner's dream to have a horse that looks like he's heading in the right direction, as is the case with Stockbridge in race 2.
Yeah, he's spot on, Andy. He started his career off very interrupted and a lot of problems, and he seems to be over those now and be able to put some decent work in him at home. And last time over 1400, I think he just got a little tired. You know, it was his first time trying the chip. He's much fitter now. He's got a good draw, and I expect him to be in the first 2 or 3.
We then move on to the second race, where you've got Silver Spectrum.
Yeah, he ran very well after gelding. He needed that run. I do think he'll improve over the distance, and he should be competitive.
Gin Fizz, she could only but win in the manner that she did in her debut. Whether she's better than that after her second start, we don't really know, but I'm sure this race will tell her. Are you happy with her?
Very happy with her at home. She's just got to behave at the racecourse. Her second time, she was very unruly and didn't do herself any justices before getting to the start, and you know, spent a lot of energy getting to the start and at the start. So changed a couple of things up. Hopefully she can save a bit of energy and put it in the race, and if she does, obviously she's a massive runner without Mr. Match's horse in the race.
So could you change her name from Gin Fizz to Gin Milkshake?
Listen, she's bubbly either way.
Flyaway probably couldn't have been more impressive in the way that she won her debut.
Yes, a very smart filly, Andrew. She does everything the right way. Warren Kennedy said she was a bit green, and she still put the colts away easily. She has come on at home. I'm expecting a big run from her.
She ran a very good race last time, post-maiden run. We were well beaten by Michael's filly, and obviously they meet the same weights. So we're just hoping that she's improved enough to maybe give that filly a run for her money, but it looks tough for her.
Then there was a lot to like about the way the Australian import Frosted Gold continued his career last time out.
Yeah, especially he was so green in his second start. You'd think it'd be the opposite way around. He was more green second time out than first time. It just shows he's looking for ground, and he's still going to improve and mature. But so was Mr. Match's horse that dead heated with us, and you know these babies improve at different rates and etc. But our horse is in good form again, and will definitely love the extra 100 metres, and I think he's got a nice draw on the outside, so we're expecting a good run.
Yes, he won over 800 first time out, the first baby race. He gave us the impression that he's looking for a little bit further. Last time, I don't know if he got a bump at the start and he ran out of fright, but he showed more speed than we thought he's going to show. He's also made the improvement. I think he'll have an each-way chance.
Then what about Ring of Fire in the same race?
Yeah, Ring of Fire, another Water Winter. He went down to Natal. He won his maiden in Gravel in good style. Luke Ferraris worked him over the weekend, and he was very impressed, and he said he'll go well.
Okay, then Kaviva looks to have a very lively chance in the fourth.
Yes, obviously those two that dead heated in front of her the last time get the penalty for winning, and that brings us a lot closer. The extra 100 metres will certainly help her chances, and yeah, she has a chance.
Okay, then finally for the day, in race 5, you've got Benji.
Benji is improving out of all knowledge since being gelded. He gave Celtic Sea 3 kilos last time, and for a head beating, she beat him by a head. She came out to frank that form and win impressively, and I think she's a top filly. He's got Chinachuri run to beat, but he'll definitely be there, and he should be included in all exotics.
Let's start off with Mighty High.
Andy, yeah, listen, she's gave us a really good gallop last week. She came out of it exceptionally well. I don't want to put the markers, but she's been a very easy filly to train for the last year. She really just gets on with the job. She loves her work. She's particularly well weighted in that field. There's obviously 1 or 2 good horses there, and when good horses run against each other, it's never a one-horse race. But she's well weighted, and she's doing really well at home. Pulled her back to 1100. She's been over racing a little bit. I think it should suit her. I mean, I can't guarantee anybody that she'll be better over 11 than a 12, but I think it's going to be a little bit more speed on early, and I think it will suit her. And I think she'll find a better turn of foot she's found in the last couple of runs, mainly because I think she'll do a little bit less early on.
Okay, in the fifth, you've got two boys and a girl that line up with Chimichurri run with the best credentials, but he has the most weight to carry as a result thereof. And as we've alluded to off camera, summer afternoon does appear to be well weighted.
Yes, obviously horses with a rating of 112 are not easy to place. We are prepping him here hopefully for the computer form sprint, and not to say that he can't win. He is in good order. I'm just a bit concerned with the amount of weight that he has to give away. Carbon Atom is in the pink of health at the moment. He probably would have preferred an extra 100 meters. He is reasonably weighted, and he's in good order at the moment, so he's not without a chance. But I think summer afternoon is the live wire with 50 kilos.
I don't think a mile standside is his best trip, but once again we're in that position now that we have precious little else to go for, so he must do his best. And Aldanza, well, she's proven her mettle against fillies and colts.
His turn of foot was absolutely eye-popping.
Yeah, it was. I don't want to be an after merchant. If he had a nice draw, and when I say nice, I mean like 3 or 4, I think we would have fancied him, you know, stronger than what we did. But he was drawn on the outside, and that's very tough in a Turffontein 1400. But having said that, you know, Marco rode him absolutely to perfection, and they went hard, which is what suited him. If they go hard in a mile, I don't know, maybe he'll like it, maybe he won't. But I won't say he doesn't run 2 races alike, because I think he's very, very consistent. I just feel that he's possibly a 7-furlong specialist that occasionally does well over a mile.
And do you think Mrs. Woodruff will have her dancing shoes on?
That's guaranteed. Wherever she's sitting, I should be far away.
And then, of course, there are lies, damned lies and statistics. And Dusra doesn't know that he's badly weighted, but he's running against the big guns.
Yeah, listen, there's some cracking horses in that field, proper horses. Dusra's a very good horse, but he's probably just under the very best around, you know, especially when we start running at weight for age. But listen, yeah, put a line through his last start. He went a bit flat on me a couple of days before that run. Actually, I didn't expect him to run last, but I knew he's not going to run a good race. So he's did better than last time, but at the same time, we extremely badly weighted us. There's proper horses in that field, and we're just going to ride him patiently and aim for 5th, and anything better than 5th will be a huge bonus.
Let's start off with Cascapedia, who was unbelievably courageous in her last start.
Yeah, it was a really nice run. I think she tends to run quite well fresh, so we've kept her fresh in between runs again, and we still have the Empress Club on our minds as our main mission. She's drawn beautifully at 1, so that's going to be a massive advantage, and she's in good form, and I expect a very similar run again.
And then, of course, Socrates, who steps up to a mile, which is really a trip that he's shown himself to be absolutely world-class.
Yeah, he's spot on. He's been beaten 3 times over 1400, so I think it's a bit of an awkward distance for him, especially as he matures. I think he's going to go a bit further than a mile now. He's made the necessary improvement from that run to this run. There's a nice swing in the weights in our favour, so everything is looking rosy, and the horse is doing very well. I think he's at his peak again, and I'm sure he'll deliver that kind of performance.
Aliasati's got it all to do, got it all to prove.
Yeah, he's probably there just to ensure a good gallop. You know, these grade ones, we don't want anybody walking and stealing the race, so he'll be going out there and setting the fractions.
Yes, it's an interesting race. Obviously, Legal Eagle is the defending champion. We did have a little hiccup after Cape Town, which put us on our back foot a little bit. However, he has met all his targets along the way, and I feel that even though he may not be 100%, he's definitely, I would say, 90%, and you know, I'm expecting a very honest run from him, even though he may just need a touch. You know, he's still got a good winning chance. Tilbury, yeah, he's actually been in the pink of health since the Summer Cup, and to keep him that well for so long is always hard. And as it's turned out, his last few blood counts haven't been where I wanted them. But having said that, his work is really good, and the jockey's reports are good, and he's fresh and well. So we rather have to trust our eye and say that, you know, let's go with his work and his well-being, and that seems to be fine. Obviously, is a more, you know, it's a big step up for him. It's a big step up for him, but besides the top 2, he's got as good a chance as any. And Cirillo, we've taken a little chance. Obviously, there was a lovely race for him in Durban a week later, and he drew poorly. So I thought we'd rather just take our chances here and see where we are in the pecking order, especially over the distance. I, in my heart, feel that a mile is not a problem for him. And, you know, I think this Turffontein mile could actually suit him. So we'll learn a lot after the race. He's in fantastic shape. That 11:60 was just a bit too quick for him a fortnight ago. Yeah, but he's in good order.
Just Owl in the Tree, we're going to give him another shot. He ran a very good race in the Guineas. He ran 6th there, running on very nicely. It's a very substandard run, I thought, in the Classic. I didn't like his run at all. It just wasn't him. But having said that, second run, break. Well, I don't like to use second runs as an excuse, which it usually is. But
And the gelding.
yeah, it just wasn't him. It wasn't a nice run. Very, very flat. And he's perked up at home. He's doing well. He's very, very fit. So we thought, well, you know, you can't just be scared of one horse. I mean, Huam looks like a total shoe-in. Yeah, but I'd like to sort of test him again and just see where he is exactly.
Mr. Ferraris, you're one of only 2 trainers that's ever trained a Triple Tiara winner, and the way that this filly Blossom finished in the SA Classic was very, very impressive, and it looks on her pedigree and her racing performance that she's looking for the 2/450.
I'm not 100% sure about that, Andrew. The mother won it, but I think the mother's class, she wasn't really a 2/450 horse, a 2,000 metre horse. I think this filly's much the same. Only she's much lighter framed than the mother, Cherry on Top. I think there'll be a fair pace on there, because a couple of them have got double runners, you know. So I think it'll be a fair pace.
But as far as her preparation and the way that she's come out of the Classic, are you happy with her?
Yes, no, she's very easy filly to train. She's typical of the mother. Lovely nature, quiet, nothing worries her at all.
Yeah, she originally, as a young horse, we thought she was definitely an Oaks filly and nailed on for that race, and we thought she was up to that standard. And then she kind of lost her way a little bit, a couple bad runs. We put the brakes on her, rested her, and fortunately we've been able to get her ready in time, and she won her last race very well. And I don't think she's without a chance.
I don't think I need to refresh your memory with regard to what you said to me about the Classic for the fillies as opposed to the Classic for the colts. You couldn't have been more bullish for a return flight. She now gets the 1.5 miles, and of course she's ably supported by her stable companion, who's clearly crying for the distance in second request.
Yeah, shame. Second request, it's just things don't go perfectly for this filly for some reason. Cape Town, we know what happened there. I felt that was a race she could have won. Looking at the form of that race, I still believe it was a race we could have won. She had a hiccup going into the Fillies Classic. I felt that 8 lengths is not a true reflection of where she was. The pace didn't suit her either. And once again, just like Tilbury, her bloods haven't been ideal for this race. She's in good order, and I think she'll stay, as you say. She's the second highest rated horse in the race. So we are a little bit reluctant, but I'm hoping that we can go once again with her well-being and what she's showing me at home, rather than with the blood. But yeah, that has taken the spring out of my step with her. Return flight, everything's gone really well. Her prep for this race has gone as smoothly as a prep for the Classic. Obviously the question mark is the distance. I think she shouldn't have a problem with it. I mean, I was of the opinion that a mile was way too short for her, and the Classic would be the right trip. Yeah, going the extra distance, obviously she's good enough, and hopefully she can confirm with the fillies that were behind her. But everything's gone smoothly. I've done all I had to do, and she's got a very good chance.
Just Owl in the Tree, we're going to give him another shot. He ran a very good race in the Guineas. He ran 6th there, running on very nicely. It's a very substandard run, I thought, in the Classic. I didn't like his run at all. It just wasn't him. But having said that, second run, break. Well, I don't like to use second runs as an excuse, which it usually is. But
And the gelding.
yeah, it just wasn't him. It wasn't a nice run. Very, very flat. And he's perked up at home. He's doing well. He's very, very fit. So we thought, well, you know, you can't just be scared of one horse. I mean, Hawam looks like a total shoe-in, yeah. But you know, I'd like to sort of test him again and just see where he is exactly.
Then on to Last of a Legend, who ran a cracking race in the Derby trial, and Zilzal, who, in my humble opinion, is a lot better than what he showed in the Classic.
Yes, you know, once again, very hard to pinpoint, you know, what went wrong in the Classic. We've gone for the tongue tie. We're hoping that that helps. It definitely wasn't his run. His prep's gone really well, and you know, we're hoping for improvement. Last of the Legend, I mean, I've actually got to have my head ready to run this horse at these weights. I suppose he has always shown us a lot, and we think highly of him. You know, maybe we could have gone a quieter route with him. There's one Derby, it's 2 million rand. You know, a lot of place money on offer too. He's in really good shape, and let's see.
Then let's work backwards, just as is the case with Ali Assad. Making the assumption, which is not always good, that Arlington's Revenge will be there to ensure good pace.
Yeah, we haven't quite decided out. We feel that Hawam will be suited to any pace. He's just got to relax. And Arlington's Revenge is not preless if you look at the rest of the field, barring one or two. He ran in the Derby trial with them, giving them weight, and was beaten a length or two. So he's definitely not preless, and you know, we're short of money, so we need a little stake check or two. We'll be very happy.
A lot of horses didn't come back that well from Cape Town. They needed a bit of time. He's had that time now, and back to the right trip.
Yeah, you got to look at it two ways. You either bring them back and run them quite quickly, or you give them a bit of time to get over the travelling. And we opted to give him the time and use the Classic as a prep for the Derby. I mean, over 1800 in that class, he's definitely outclassed. But you know, of these staying distances, he's much more effective, and I'm excited to see him go this trip for the first time. And you know, if a one wasn't in the race, I'd be, you know, pretty bullish that he'd be one of the horses to beat.
You couldn't have a cooler customer than Gavin Lorino to settle Hawam, because he's going to the 1.5 mile marker for the first time in a race. And that's the key, really, for him to settle, because we know this turn of foot is second to none.
Yeah, Gavin has got beautiful hands. He knows the horse extremely well. He's probably done most of the work on the horse, and they seem to get along very well. And you know, it is going to be up to Gavin and Hawam, and just to get him to relax for, you know, that first 50-60% of the race. And if he does so, then I'm sure he'll deliver that same kick that we've seen.
And finally, Matthew, if a person's just tuned into Understarter's orders and they see you speaking about Hawam, this boom horse, which he is, fantastic measurements and an incredible pedigree. His pedigree has been vindicated so many times, particularly this year with the Met. And, you know, does he give you the feeling that this galloping track of 2,450 meters is what he's after?
Definitely. You know, I was actually speaking to Gav this morning about it. As a young horse, after his first run, in his second run, the Dingons, he turned it on so quickly. But as he's matured, he's looked more and more like a horse looking for ground. The 1400 he won this year, he battled to win. Whereas, you know, as a young horse, he might have turned it on a bit better. So the more mature he's getting, the more reasonable he's getting, the more he's looking like a horse that's going to be best over 10 furlongs and hopefully just as good over 12.
And you would think that perhaps Silvana would be a more profound influence of stamina than Ideal World. Hence the fact that Marinaresco is running over 2 miles on Dubai World Cup night the same day.
Yeah, there's no stamina doubts for a horse by Silvana. And Rainbow Bridge, you can see he's 1 over 10 furlongs, so the mare obviously has some stamina on her side too.
Then we move on to a very talented horse. Sometimes he delivers sparkling performances, sometimes not. But let's talk about Noble Secret in race 9.
Yeah, he's since we switched him to the staying distances, he looks to have a lot of scope and looks like an exciting stayer. We always were planning to run him in this race. We just needed a race to run in between just to keep him ticking over. Obviously, would have liked a little bit of a better run last time in the 18, but he's just showing more and more that he's a stayer, out-and-out stayer. So I'm excited to see him run on Saturday. I'm hoping he can put in a big performance, and then hopefully we can plan some races in Durban. He has the field held all on their previous meetings, so if he's anywhere near to his best, you know, he should be hard to beat.
Yeah, he's really, you know, done really well. This horse is in top shape. The extra ground, you know, is he going to enjoy it? I'm not too sure. he's got so much speed at home. It's hard to believe that he gets a 2400. Never mind a 2850. We're really not well weighted with the top two in the weights, but we're going to take our chances and hope for the best.
I suppose the one thing that you can bank on is that he does drop the bit and settle, and he can be conserved.
Yeah, he can be conserved. I wouldn't say he drops a bit and lobs. He can be conserved. Let's put it that way. You know, obviously, the more economical it is, the more chance he's going to have at the business end.
Fantastic. Then we move on to a really talented filly, Jessica's Silver Thursday.
Yeah, a bit of an in and out filly and a little frustrating. She has the potential to win a race like this. She just got to put it in. Can't complain with her well-being. She's spot on.
Then there was a lot to like about the way that Jet Start performed last time out in the 10th race.
Yeah, she's a nice filly, that, you know. She's a 4-time winner by Path Fork, and also given me no trouble, and then she stays nicely. So I think she'll give a good account of herself.
Jamra needed her last run over 1400, which wasn't so long ago. She may just need this one again. We're hoping for a good run. And Tamberlang, is it?
Yeah, Tamberlang's in the same race, sorry.
Okay. Tamberlang, we're coming back in distance. This filly's plummeted in the ratings, and she's gonna come up any day now. I think she'll actually run very well here.
I think she's probably better over slightly less ground, probably a mile. But listen, she's run well over 1800 before. She really enjoys running at home. Her best runs have all been at Turffontein. She's drawn one. We've got a nice low galloping weight. Yeah, listen, it's a handicap. It's competitive, but our filly's very well, and she's been ultra consistent in the last 10 couple of runs or so. So we do expect a good run, but it's competitive.
Then we've got a hard knocker in Pietro Mascagne.
Yeah, I think drop to a mile. I'm hoping that's what he's been wanting. His previous couple of runs, he's 1800 in the listed. He moved up very well. Didn't finish it off in the 2000 feature. Turffontein also moved up extremely well. Didn't finish it off. So we're hoping that's an indication that the mile is going to be ideally suited to him.
And then Romany Prince, he's a hard-knocking fella for one of your Doyen owners, Mr. DeMarco.
Yeah, he's done us proud, really, and I think he's nearing the end of his career. His runs lately have not been too great, so it's just a matter of time and probably pension him off.
He looks like he could run another big race.
Yeah, I think he's pretty honest. I don't think Lyle went hard enough last time. He is a galloper and he needs to get out there and gallop. He's funny enough not the best workhorse. He's quite reserved at home, but he's pretty honest on the racetrack. And yeah, I think he's a big runner.
Okay, and then on to the horse that provided Lyle Hewitson with that wonderful record, a horse called Shenanigans.
Shenanigans, I think he's going to need one more run to just bring him to his peak. Also had his run just the other day over 1400, which was a little disappointing. But we will hopefully give him more of a chance, drop him out and let him finish off strongly, and hopefully will give us a good effort going forward.
And then to round off the full Monty from races 1 all the way through to 12, you've got Aurora Australis.
Yeah, Aurora Australis is probably a horse that is now looking for a little bit further. However, he enjoys this course and distance, and the problem is when he gets too far back in a big field, he makes up the ground, but obviously it's just a mountain too high. I think with a nice small field, it's really going to suit him. Whether he's good enough to win in this company, I'm not sure, but he's in a good space, and I'm sure he'll be thereabouts.
March scored his last run. He was a little bit unlucky. He got interfered with, and the youngster had to check him, and he still ran on to an extent, so I'm expecting a fair run from him.
You've always had a measure of respect for the source, Dabian. What do you think about him in race 12?
Yeah, he's a hard-knocking sort in his place with the ratings, I reckon. But loves his course and distance, and you know, if things just go his way in the race, he will be right there. But if things go his way in the race, he could be in the #1 box.
And finally, Sean, you're walking into the race course, and a CNN camera crew accost you, and they say to you, "Mr. Terry, please give us your best bet on the afternoon."
I think it's a really tough day to ask me the question, but I would probably go with Return Flight.